Hi, this is Kelly, and I'm getting ready for my trip to Montana. This is a used truck I bought, which will be my camp truck, and inside of it I have some of my provisions for my trip. I'm going to be heading to my Upper Peninsula, Michigan home and picking up more of my tools tomorrow. But I've got my bow, some cold weather gear, some canning gear, some provisions just to heat up water over a fire, tools, and stuff for canning down the road. So I've got some of my canning gear in here, and putting up food. Got some canned goods down here, some canned beets, pickled beets, and some other food items, and some other hunting gear as well. So, and this will be where I'll sleep during my across the country road trip. No hotels for this girl on this budget. So I'll be heading cross country for a nice epic road trip. First with the stop in the Upper Peninsula, actually 2 stops. One to pick up some of my logs for my porch, and the other to pick up my tools and other gear from my home in Michigan, one of my homes. And then heading to Wisconsin to pick up my Aleutian Bidarka kayak that I made from scratch, only using primitive hand tools, and it's all tied together with natural cordage with no glue, no screws, no nuts, no bolts, no nothing modern other than it is post-European, so instead of it being covered with sealskin, it's covered with canvas and painted, and it's an Aleutian Bidarka kayak that I plan to eventually somehow take with me to Alaska. So my goal and dream would be to sail it around, eventually part of the Aleutians. But even more recently, it would be great just to paddle it around, I should say. I said sail, misspoke. Part of the inside passage where I live in Alaska. So this is something I'd like to share. This is a plate that on it has a photograph showing my great-grandmother, Grace Anguish, on the left, and her husband on the right. And she was quite an adventurer, and the reason why I bring this up, a lot of people say that we resemble one another, not so much in looks, but in spirit. She was a wild adventurer, and for example, she was on Vancouver Island hunting in the 1940s. She hunted and made her own hunting clothes. She ran for sheriff. She was also involved in Women Air Corps during World War II, and she also, prior to women having rodeo events, she was one of the ladies that would ride a flag around a rodeo circuit to kind of wave the American flag and welcome in the rodeo into town. So her name was Grace Anguish, and she died when I was 14, but she certainly inspired me, and I think I've taken her adventurous lifestyle to another level. But she is probably the one in my family that most closely resembled me, although she was very petite. I'm not sure she was even 5 foot. So, kind of interesting. Anyways, thought I'd share that. Have some of my U.S. military bags here and putting them to good use.